Hi everybody. Today we are going to talk about the continent of Africa, and I'm going to put out a theory, whether I'm right or wrong we'll find out, time will tell, that Africa is going to be the next continent, or the countries in Africa, specific ones, are going to be the next places where there's going to be an economic boom. Kind of like what China was the last 20 years, where Chinese people went from living in villages and dirt floors to now living in concretes and being entrepreneurs and businessmen and employees, businesswomen too. I think the same thing's going to go in Africa, because they've industrialized a lot of the world, and it's not like Africa isn't industrialized. It clearly is. I mean, that's one of our major food sources. But that being said, when it comes to borrowing money and treasury, you got to put money into places that need development. And that's why I suspect that since Africa is the last place and everyone's moving into this digital world, not that Africa isn't going digital, but they certainly are not as probably as digital as the rest of us are. And if you are trying to move everyone into digital currencies, digital grids, all the sorts of tracking that are going on these days, I think you definitely have to look at Africa and building out that infrastructure. So you have the President of the United States, who came out the State of the Union before all this hoopla happened, talking about how he's setting up internet connectivity in rural America because there's like 100 million Americans that don't have the internet connectivity. Well, you can say the same thing about Africa. So while they're setting up the 5th branch of the military, the space branch or whatever it is, that probably means there's going to be a lot of satellite technology that is being created for specifically internet connectivity. So if you're moving into this digital grid, monetarily speaking as well, that clearly tells me that they're going to move into areas where they need to develop that. So there's also places in South America that are the exact same way. So the same thing I said about Africa, I think you can say the same thing about certain parts of Southern America, where you have people that are still living in villages and they want to be able to upgrade and move into a place where you can control those currencies better, and put people more on a digital grid. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just suggesting that that is the cycle that we are going into, is moving businesses towards those sorts of things. Africa is a big food production place. Obviously, it has other things as well. Different types of industries, that food industries, fruit industries, nuts, cacao are big over there. It's a multicultural continent, just like it is over here as a country, but Africa has multicultural countries within that continent. And so I would imagine that diversity and that eclectic style that they have individually, I think you're going to find out more about that. So there have been people like Doug Casey I could think of. I've heard a few of his lectures talking about that they want to, that Africa is the next place. He's been saying that for like 5 years now. So it's not like I'm early to the party. I'm really not. I think there's a lot of people that are looking at Africa right now. So I'm thinking that Africa and also Southern America, that's where funds are going to be going to. Look for specifically things like specifically food production. I think that's where things are going to go to. So just wanted to kind of give you a theory, and we'll find out in the next couple of years whether that lays out or not. It proves to be true. Might not be true. Things we may not know. You know, I'm smart enough to know that I'm stupid, so maybe there's something I just didn't know, and I'm willing to learn. If someone has a different opinion than me, please let me know. Anyway, my name is Leslie Michael Jr. Thank you for checking me out, and if you haven't done so, please like or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and we would love to hear more from you. We tell lots of stories about life, truth, business, marketing, and we'd like to hear back from you too. Have yourself a good one.